Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 812. My name is Christine, and on today's episode I'm showing you 3 ways to use your Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft Gelatos. Today I am going to be showing you 3 ways to use your gelatos from Design Memory Craft from Faber-Castell. Here we have a wide range of the gelatos. You can purchase them in color families. So these 4 here, you have your yellows, reds and pinks, greens, blues with some purple. Then they now have neutrals and then 2 metallic colors. And the other fun thing is now at the ends they have the names of the color. So this one is buttercream. When you get them in your 4-pack, you will also get a brush. This brush came with the blues. And you will get a stamp. So you get a brush, a stamp, and 4 gelatos in your packages. Okay, so I'm going to start with my first technique. I'm just going to put my gelatos to the side. And I think I'm going to start with a pink and red sort of purpley base. So for this technique, you need a surface. And these craft mats, I've said it over and over again, are perfect for doing all sorts of different techniques and putting your mediums directly on your craft mat. So if you haven't gotten a craft mat yet, I would highly recommend it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gelato and I'm going to rub it on my craft mat. And you've probably done this technique with other mediums such as distress inks and stuff. But I just want to show it's the same technique you can use with a variety of different mediums. I'm going to put some purpley in there. And you can see these are, the gelatos they look sort of like a lipstick. And they're a high pigmented color, and you can just rub them on your craft mat like that and see the colors there. Then I'm taking my water bottle and spritzing. And this will activate them more like a paint. And depending how much water you spritz will depend how soft or bold your color will be. Now I have this watercolor postcard here, watercolor paper, and I'm going to just swish it through there. Now because the color was light or it had lots of water of that, you can see my thing here is light. I'm going to dry this anyway, and then I'm going to add more color. Okay, so you can see it's really light. So I'm going to come back in. But way more red. I want more red. I think I'm even going to pop it up with a darker purple. And put a bit more of that pink in there. Give it another spritz onto my new colors. And so we're going to put it through again. Dip it in there. Oh, that's better. Hold on. You can see now the color we're getting. That's more like it. Okay, so I'm going to dry it like this. It's not completely dry, but what I want to do is put on another layer of color. So I'm just putting it right back in, picking it up. Ooh, and see now I'm getting all those little spots. That's great. And I still have some color on my mat, so I'm going to dip it in here, dip it in here. Try that. So I'm going to leave it like that. I think that's a really pretty background to start with. But it's still wet. You can wipe it off. Of course, you can continue the process until you're happy with your background. So now to clean this up, all I'm going to do is take my water again, spritz it, grab a paper towel, and wipe it up. So you can see what a quick cleanup that is, and that's another reason why everyone should have one of these craft mats. So for step 2, I'm going to be taking some of my Crafters Workshop templates here. I've got hexagons, I've got circles, I've got hearts, and I have this stripe pattern. So maybe I'll start with a couple hearts. I am going to go with, I'll go with that dark red. So what I want to do is, again, I am applying the gelato to my craft mat. Now you can use a regular paintbrush, or I have this water brush here from Tim Holtz Ideology that was released before, and I'm going to use that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some of the color and then color it into my stencil. So you don't want it too wet because you want the color to stay within that design. So depending on what color you choose though to go over top will depend on how dark or how much you will see your hearts. I am picking a color that I've just finished putting on the base, so they're going to be a little more muted. But that's why I'm trying not to really add more water to it, just quickly paint these in. And this process doesn't take that long. You can just quickly rub it in. So I'll just finish this one and I'll reveal these. Actually, I'm going to do one more, that one down there, I think. So you can see there the hearts popping up. I'm just going to dry it off. It's not that wet, it won't take too long. You can see though when I use the same red that's in it, it just gives that really nice subtle heart design there. But you can always use another color. I will use this blue. So again, I'm going to put the blue down on my mat. When you use the water brushes, all to clean them, you just have to put some water through, do that, and the water's clear, so it's clean. Now I am going to use this template here because there are coordinating stamps to go with it. So there's a few designs that Crafters Workshop is teamed up with Impression Obsession to make stamps to coordinate with the dies. So we're going to do this and then we'll be doing some stamping. So I'm going to put across here, I think, a couple. So maybe I'll do this little stripe. So I just pick up the blue. Again, I don't want it too wet because it's going in a small spot. And when I'm painting in like this, I'm not looking for that exactness. I like to just sort of get color into the spot. I think that's what makes it fun. Got a couple more here, and then I'm going to dry it before we move on because I don't want it to move around. So you see my little stripes there, and you can see how the blue pops up off the background. And I'm going to do the little dots just to show you how you can do little things too. And when I do this, what I do is I use that line to sort of line it up when I'm doing a whole row of stripes. So I'm just picking it up and quickly just going into all those little dots. And because it's sort of a watercolor look, I'm not looking for that exact circle of all these little dots. It's about being quick and fast and just doing it. And some are darker, some are lighter. It's the whole fun of using these watercolor mediums, is that it's going to be a little different each time. And it also depends on, like, you know, I'm putting the blue over a darker red or a lighter area. That will also depend on how much we see of it. So we're just finishing up here. And then I'll try it again before we do the stamping. Okay, so there's my dots. And you can see that they are still sort of dotted. They didn't bleed too much, so that's because I didn't use too much water. So you just want to watch how much water you do use. Okay, so now it is time for stamping. And stamping is our third way to use our gelatos. Now first up is this stamp. So you'll see that it's not quite the length, but we'll be able to just stamp again to do it. So I'm going to use a purple because I want a darker color here. So what I do is I take my gelato and I rub it directly onto my stamp. And then you want to mist your stamp. And again, you want to practice on how much water. Too much water will make it really watery, not enough it won't stamp. So I'm just going to stand up a bit here. So I'm trying to locate my little lines and stamp. So you can see there's little purple lines. Now, of course, you can use ink if you were doing this on another project. You don't have to use gelatos. I just want to show you how, though, you can use your gelatos for stamping. So there you can see there's some purple there. I'm going to take this off. Oh, to clean this again, you would just mist, add a lot of water to break it up, and then just get in there with your cloth, or if you had, I guess you could do it with baby wipes. I always just use water. And just get in there, and it's a water-based medium, so it'll just wash out. So I'll finish washing that later, but you get the idea. So now for the dots. Okay, to do a similar thing, I'm just going to take my gelato and run it over that. Give it a mist. And when I mist, I try to mist up higher. And that way it's more of a mist versus just really getting it. Now I just have to look over, because my dots are so light, I don't get them exactly. I know I didn't get them exactly. My dots are so light that sometimes it's harder to see. But there you can see. It's sort of cute. You have your little circles, your dots. And you can make some interesting stripe patterns down any project you're working on. You get cards, scrapbook layouts, art journals, postcards. It's a lot of fun. So I'm just going to show you a couple others I had done. This one with the hearts, the reason they're a lot darker is that I started by putting the gelato straight into the hearts, and then I moved it with my finger and then added water. And I decided I personally didn't like that look as much, and then went to just coloring them in with my water brush. So you can just see the difference though of applying the gelato straight on versus the other way. It all depends what look you're going for. So here then I just tried it again with just brushing it on the way I showed you, and you have these subtle hearts. And that's really pretty with the oranges. Here's the green background and then the dots, and then I just did yellow and blue and green dots. Purple background with some purple little hexagon shapes. And then here's one I did with all the different striped patterns along. So you can get some really cute little looks and designs. So there you have 3 different ways you can use your gelatos and how you can add them in with your Crafters Workshop templates and the stamps. So get out and have fun and start playing around making some beautiful artwork. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you the Spellbinders expandable patterns. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.